Is it okay? Hello, welcome to another fanfiction review. It is I, Dark Stephanie 777. Please, as always, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment on your opinion of this not only video but the story itself. And as always, a link to the story is in the description. So this is going to be something different. This is going to be an official two-part, I guess. I'll get to the second part when I get there, but this part is just going to be the review of the story itself. So the story I'm reviewing this time is Whiteout by the Dobermans. Excuse me. Every time I do one of these videos, I always seem to end up burping a lot. I don't know why. Sorry about that. And it's a very kind of out there story. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just it kind of flew over. I read the comments of the story, and it's like it flew over a lot of people's heads. So it's like, but I wanted to give my honest go because I'll explain that. I'll explain more of that in the second part. So let's get started. Where is it? It was mid-morning, and the Pegasus were pushing the last of the gray clouds away behind the hills, making the snowfall retreat into a shimmering curtain toward the sun. A stout aproned mare, almost said a tone for some reason, aproned mare leaned against a broomstick at the outskirts of Ponyville, far below, shielding her eyes while she watched them work. In twos and threes, the flyers disappeared from view into the light. She huffed and swept the ragged welcome mat at her doorstep. "Go on now, Leadweight, you old lump," she muttered to herself. "If you were an hourglass, your sand would fall a day, and not a second less. I swear. Prince will be here, and then what? You want the first thing for her to see a pile of snow? You want her to seize... You want the first thing for her to seize... wondering why there's an apostrophe S right there. But the first thing for her to see is seize. I don't even know if that a real word. Is that a real word? I don't know. Sees a pile of snow in front of her door. Weatherbirds just turned the lights up. Gotta be a sign. Be here in a nervous heartbeat, she will. She wiped the sweat from her brow with her striped mauve scarf, peering up toward Canterlot's distant towers. There, against the sea blue backdrop of the sky, a middle glint was growing bigger and bigger. Oh goodness, see? A sign. Sure as Robin's coming to call when the snow melts. Come on, Ludwig, finish up. God dang it. Why do I keep burping? Remember your manners. Please, Your Highness. Thank you, Your Highness. I'm sorry, Your Highness. She jumped back and stepped back to work, the bristles of her broom swishing back and forth in a blur. Featherweight, she called at the door. Start the tea, honey. Our guests will be here any... She jumped again at the sound. I'm off my A game here, folks. Of heavy wheels crunching the snow behind her. Oh my. Featherweight, get the tea started. She's here. They're here. My goodness, she spun so fast that her scarf unraveled from her neck and spiraled down onto the path she had dug through the rolling white drifts. It landed at the gleaming hooves of Princess Celestia, who stood with her wings spread broad as sails in the blinding light, her crowned head towering above a pair of steel-eyed guards. Miss Ledway, how wonderful to see you again, and how kind of you to spare me the chill of the snow. Ledway dropped her broom and bowed until she felt the cold, hard ground against her nose. Thank you, Princess Celestia. You're most welcome, Princess Celestia. Please grace your humble home with your majestic, radiant, beneficent, serene thoughts. Celestia chuckled. Come now, Miss Ludwig. Didn't I tell you last fall that there's no need for decorum between us? Her Pegasus guards had unhitched themselves from the golden harness of the royal chariot and darted to her side. Before Ludwig could rise, they had proceeded past and stationed themselves next to her door. Ludwig rose from the gravel, cringing at the sight of the guards' expressionless faces. Of course, Princess. How silly me. She scooped her scarf and broom out of the icy dirt and gave Celestia a chattering smile. Please, won't you come in and out of the cold and honor us at our table for tea? Celestia nodded and smiled back with her one unconcealed eye. That would be most delightful. She strode forward to keep pace with Ledway, who was retreating backwards, sweeping the path before her visitor's golden-shod hooves. Actually, I've taken my leave from court for the rest of the day, the princess continued. Do let's chat. Chat away the whole morning, for all I care. When they reached the cottage, Leadweight propped the broom against the wall and ducked inside, hurrying to the table. Featherweight, did you... Oh, you didn't. Goodness. Featherweight, where are you? Didn't you hear me calling? She's here and the weather's cold. The dishes aren't set and... the sugar! The white china... The white china bowl that held the tea-time sweetener had fallen from its place on the shelf below the spice rack. Its smooth pieces lay half buried in the sandy powder. Lightweight stood next to the jagged pile, snorting and looking back and forth between it and our guests. Oh, Featherweight, what's gotten into you? God dang it. You were such a... Please excuse me, Your Highness. I have plenty more in the cupboard. I'll just have to serve you in a saucer? Oh, no. Celestia raised her foreloof, calling for sounds. Right hoof? The guard's white muzzle poked through the door. Your Highness, he barked. Make a note. Arrange for 1 sugar bowl to be delivered to Miss Ludwig by the end of the day tomorrow? Yes, Your Highness. Ludwig wrung her hoofs together, ducking her head below her knees. Oh, Princess, it was our blunder. You don't have to... Oh, and... right hoof. Make it a nice one. Celestia winked at Ludwig. How about mother of pearl inlay? Well, if you insist, Your Highness, said Ludwig, covering her grin with a hoof. Celestia, my dear, Celestia, and I do insist, a mayor's kitchen is her palace. She pointed her long white horn toward the shattered sugar bowl, wrapping it in her golden glow. She gathered all the pieces and spilled sugar and conveyed them them to the trash bin. A saucer will be just fine for today. Shall we sit while we wait for the water to boil? Oh, my yes, please, take your pick, said Ledweight. She gestured towards the dented hardwood table that took up the cottage's modest dining room. 3 places were half set with teacups, turned upside down with chipped pink dishes. Splendid! Celestia lowered her giant frame onto one of the hickory chairs. You have such a charming home, Miss Ludwig. I trust you and Featherweight are happy here. Happy? Yes, I guess you could say that. Happy as hares in a lettuce garden, Ludwig replied, wincing at how Celestia was stooped beneath the straw ceiling. I'm sorry, Celestia. I wish we could better accommodate ponies of your stature. We're of humble means. Please don't be offended. Nothing to worry about, Miss Ludwig, said Celestia in tone, her voice calm and gentle. Her billowing mane and tail lapped at the hearthstones and walls, floating the drab door with color. We can only do our best. I assure you that you made me feel most welcome. Lightweight blushed, smoothing out her apron. Oh, thank you. That's such a relief. So, let's see. We prepared shortcake and homemade mint tea for you. I hope you like it. Need to get my throat hydrated. She went to the kitchen after filling her kettle. She scraped the match against the cheese grater. How does that work? Do you have like a special mat? I don't know. Again, and held its flame to the stove's burner. When it had coughed to life, she returned to the dining room with a platter of shortcake wedges and clean rags for napkins and placemats. Please allow me, Your Highness. She arranged 2 of the rags in front of Celestia, who dipped her head in thanks. Ledweight placed 2 crumbling wedges onto her guest plate and set the platter in the center of the table. Excuse me. So, when did you first meet Featherweight? If you don't mind me asking, she said, taking the only other seat not preoccupied by Celestia's mane. Her mane's not that big, is it? No, it can't be that big. Can it? That went off a weird tangent. I imagine Celestia just slowly growing a beard. Said, I have a beard! She has a beard! How do you grow a beard? I don't know! Curse you, Cats and Underpants, for allowing me to... Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, I was right here. Celestia turned to look outside, searching for the flawless bright blanket of snow through the windows. Oh, not at all. It was when the school children were working on the newspaper, and little Featherweight spied me indulging in one of my favorite treats. She smirked and took a bite of cake. Lightweight all but toppled out of her chair. Oh, that Gabby Gums nonsense. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't intend anything. That must have been so embarrassing. Please just forget I mentioned it. It's quite all right. It's just It's funny. I was something of a health enthusiast in my youth. I obeyed a strict diet. Only the freshest greens and produce, not a grain of sugar. And one day, then when was it? Oh yes, on a birthday being held by a little. I was full sitting. Mother insisted that we wore children as a lesson in friendship and leadership. Those who command must learn to care. She always say. At a sight down the hall, there was a bump, followed by the rapid patter of little hooves. Celestia licked the crumbs from her lips, shifting her weight. Pardon. Oh, where was I? God dang it! I was saying the burp when I'm doing these videos. I don't know why. Yes, it was at the birthday party that I slipped. I took a nibble. It was just a small piece, clean off the child's plate. A cake. The bottom half, he already eaten the frosting. Fools do like the frosting. Lightweight was bobbing her head up and down. That's so charming. A princess Fulsitter? What with your duties? I could hardly imagine you royals having the time to chase the little scrappers to keep him busy. I have a hard enough time with just one, especially now that he's. I remember being ever so grateful to his mother, Celestia cut in. If only you could see the look on her face when I hugged her and thanked her. She didn't have a clue, of course. She baked the best angel food. Her rosy eyes sparkled, full of memories. The hiss of steam from the kitchen began to sharpen to a sibilant whimper. Celestia rested her forelegs on the table, her weight angling it down towards her. Her half-empty dish clanked against her shoe. It was just a piece. No one saw. No one complained. Nothing wrong with something sweet. Every now and then. The tea kettle's wine rose to a steady, quiet stream. Nothing wrong with that. She smiled, leaning forward. Is there? No, of course, there's nothing wrong with that, Lightweight spluttered. Backing away from the table, she stood up to go to the kitchen. Who doesn't like a snack, a biscuit or two to soak up their tea with? She hurried into the other room without waiting for an answer. Who indeed? Celestia sighed. Do you know how old I am, Miss Ludwait? Ludwait returned with the steaming kettle and 2 tarnished tea balls, packed with pungent-bound leaves. Tea balls? I never heard of that. I'm not a fan of tea anyway, so I was like, it's not even matter. She shook her head as she poured, mercy, no. Celestia nodded her thanks once more and flickered her forelock out of the eyes. It's difficult, you know. I say it's very difficult. Keeping every hoof step poised at knees height, waiting for the Saddle Arabian's king's daughter to unfold her napkin before donning yours. Ah, dang it. Smiling in court at the farmers as they fight the merchants, as they fight the nobles. Paying mind to every word, the inflection, the diction, the brevity, raising the. Her eyes lost focus again, seeing images of other times and places, or nothing at all. Raising the sun. There was another bump from somewhere else in the cottage. Tiny wings were brushing against wood, as if a bird had flown in through the window and gotten caught inside. The princess's chair creaked as she shifted again. Poor Celestia gets tired sometimes. Sometimes Celestia just needs some sunshine. Ludwig looked down at her shortcake. The princess cleared her throat, taking a sip. Featherweight seems like such a happy cult. I know he's very passionate about his photography. And now his newspaper. I understand. Editor-in-chief, are there any games or toys that he favors? Toys? Well, I'm sorry, but I think he's grown out of toys. He hasn't opened his treasure chest, that's what he used to call it, in weeks. As for games, he used to like fly and seek. Do you see him playing out at all, maybe, with the other children at the gymnasium for high-flying Pegasi? Well, no, I'm afraid there isn't much time for games with our curriculum. The students spend most of their time in the classroom or with me for personal instruction. Celestia lifted the remaining portion of cake from her plate and popped it into her mouth. Oh, I see. Lightweight rubbed behind one ear. Celestia, can I please? I don't mean to step outside my boundaries. Can I ask you something, mare to mare? Celestia studied her fidgeting host. Of course, my dear. Ask anything you'd like. It's Featherweight. I'm worried. He avoids the snow like it's going to avalanche at him any second. Won't his potatoes or parsnips or his rice? And this is really quite embarrassing for a fool his age. He stopped, using the potty. had accents. Mother worries. Leatherweight tapped her hoof tips together, casting about the rafters as if they could tell what to say. A stray sunbeam reflected from her spoon caught her attention. She began rolling it back and forth, tracing an uncertain line on the stained straw of the ceiling. I remember the day. Oh, what a good boy he was. I remember the day we got your letter, all wrote up and proper and sealed in red ribbon, inviting him to the gymnasium. Oh, my own featherweight. Canterlot scholar. He was so happy, polished up his camera, combed his mane, filled his binder with loose leaf. Did he... And please forgive me for asking. I didn't mean to imply anything. Did he show signs of peculiar behavior when he was with you last year? Do you think he's all right? Celestia canted her head and grinned a flawless white grin, flexed her cramped wings, and the brilliant light from the window spilled through her tresses, multiplying the sparkles and lights that were dancing around her shoulders and brow. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Life in Canterlot takes some adjusting for most of my students. It's nerves, nothing more. I can guarantee you that he's performed splendidly the times I had him one-on-one, so much so that I've taken him on for additional lessons. Flying colors every time. A child's high, thin voice murmured from behind a closed door down the hall. Snow time, not going. Snow time, forever and ever. Celestia swayed her neck to the side and led to see past Leatherweight down the length of the cottage. After a moment of listening, she nudged her plate forward with a hoot tip. My, I feel a bit warm for tea in a sudden. Might we break for a spell and see if we can find our little genticle? I suppose it's time, Leatherweight replied, setting her teacups down. Maybe if you don't mind, you could give him a talking to before. Right, Hoof? The princess had already stood and was walking around the table. The white muzzle reappeared. Your Highness, please retrieve my channel purse from the chariot. At once, Your Highness. Not going, cried a muffled shriek from one of the other rooms. The scrape of wings on hoofs resumed, faster and more urgent than before. Celestia giggled behind her roof. Oh, how precious. God damn. Maybe it's nerves that's causing him burp a lot. He's playing fly and seek, you see. As I said, Miss Leadweight, nothing to worry about. The front door opened, letting in a blast of cold winter air. Right Hoop stomped in, bits of frost falling from his hoary seat. Hoary, I never heard of that word. Hoary. Sorry, just looking it up for a second. I want to see if that's a real word. Hoary, grayish white. Huh, okay. He carried a white, sun-adorned saddlebag at his hoof. When he knelt, he bowed his head. Celestia took the bag with her magic and buckled it on. We'll be leaving shortly, Right Hoof. Why don't you go ahead and prepare the chariot for departure? Let Ten Hut know we're to be back in Canterlot within 5 minutes. As you wish, Your Highness, Right Hoof replied, clasping a foreleg to his crest. Ma'am, he said, nodding to Leadweight. He turned and left, his dun tail whipping against a door frame. Let's see. Where could our little stallion be hiding? Celestia spoke into the silence of the hall. Her mane and tail filled the narrowing space, forcing Leadweight to trail behind. Oh, he'll probably be in his bedroom, Leadweight chimed. But we better check the others too, just in case. The one on the right there is the bathroom. Ah, let's take a peek, Celestia whispered. She eased the plywood door open. Featherweight, dear, are you in here? It's me, Sally. Are we still best friends? Come on out, sweetie. We're going home to Canterlot. Leadweight burrowed her way under Celestia's mane and peered into the dark room. Featherweight, you in here? You heard the princess. She wants to leave now, and you're holding up the works. I got a drum drop if you come out. Oh, dear me. Toilet seat was askew on its hinges, its smooth white porcelain dented and scarred all over. Celestia lit a small amber light at the tip of her horn. Its soft glow fell on a layer of old editions of Full Free Plus that covered the tiled floor. She scanned the faded images of herself, caught in profile, mouth wide open. Excuse me. Mouth wide open to take in another slice of cake. Most were blotted with ink, dumped no doubt from the sticky bottles that lay strewn across the pages. Celestia stepped over them and looked into the scaly, mildewed bathtub. Featherweight was nowhere to be seen. Oh dear, how am I gonna pay for that? I guess we'll cross that bridge later. Alright. Let's try my bedroom next. She backed up to clear the way for Celestia. He'll hide there sometimes after I scolded him for not eating his dinner. Next door on the right. Celestia nodded and raised her hoof to knock. Oops. What's this? There's something else on the... She pointed her lighted horn down, revealing a scattered pile of Polaroids. All of them blurry brown and pitch black. Leadweight pushed forward and opened the door. Featherweight, what is the meaning of this? Where are you? Featherweight! All the sheets had been pulled off the mattresses and thrown into a heap on the floor. They were soaked in black ink. The sheets, too? Oh, Featherweight, this isn't like you. I'm so upset. Princess, he's a good boy. He really is. I just don't know what's gotten into him of late. He's in his bedroom, sure enough. Please, Celestia, your wisdom is famous throughout Equestria. You said you have experience with the young ones. Is there anything you can do? Celestia patted Ledwig's shoulder and used her magic to open the last door in the hallway. Featherweight, honey, she called as she entered. I had a long talk with your mother. I told her all about the special time we spent together. She's really excited for you to come back to the gymnasium with me. Featherweight's bedroom was darker than the dining room. The shades pulled and the curtain shut. A small bed, a dresser, a box of dusty toys, and a clothes hammer with the only furnishings it held. Ludwig opened one of the dresser drawers. Featherweight, she checked the next one down, finding nothing but folded pants and dress shirts. She shook her head at Celestia and shrugged. A soft growl and sniffle sounded from the direction of the bed. Celestia smiled, giving Ledway a long-lashed wink. Wink. She captured the bet in her golden light, battered wooden frame and all, and raised it into the air. There was Featherweight, hunched near the wall where the headboard had been, chewing and tearing at a white Pegasus plush doll. A wad of stuffing was poking out of his shrunken neck. Ledway stamped her hoof. Featherweight, you naughty cold! Stop that and come over here this instant. I have half a mind to... Celestia leaned down and draped a wing around her. It's fine, Miss Ledweight. Just nerves, as I said. I know just the thing to put him at ease. She started towards Featherweight, mindful of her horn and crown gouging the low ceiling. Her swishing tail fanned the dresser and floor. Excuse me. Hey there, my little sunbeam. Featherweight tensed, crouching low to the floor. His widening eyes met Celestia's calm, sidelong gaze. Before she could say another word, he flew into the corner and banged his head. Tears spilling down his cheeks as he began digging at the floor with his hooves. Celestia reached under his scrabbling forelegs and lifted him away from the ruined plaything. Tossing her mane back out of her eyes, she set the bed down and pressed his face against her chest. There, there. I'm here now. Look, she said, shifting him to the side so he could see her cutie mark. The sun's come out. Remember the sun? Are you as happy as I am, sweetie? Listen, we'll take just a short ride back to Canterlot. You can stay with me for a while. If that helps, after that I'll give you right hoof to watch over you wherever you go. I promise, nothing's gonna hurt my little son, you never. Not one hair on his precious head. She tried to give him a peck on his nose, but her fumbling lips couldn't avoid covering his muzzle. Kiss! She laughed, leaving a ring of clear lip gloss around his tiny snout. He strained cross-eyed where she kissed him, dazed by the sudden smell of strawberries and mint in the mouth. His little chest began to heave. His wings strained against Celestia's gentle embrace. He gave a push against her massive shoe and twisted, breaking free and kicking into the air. Princess! Ludwig shouted. She left and fell with a crash. Featherweight darted away from her into Celestia's mane, making to squeeze through into the hall. The weaving tresses got me confused for a little bit. Stopped him dead, as fast as a magpie in a gossamer. He screamed and fought, wrapped tight in the bright, sparkling locks, pink and blue and green, inches from his goal. The more he struggled, the more entangled he became. His flailing grew weaker and weaker, and after a few minutes he went still, bound tip to tail in the center of Celestia's crown. She chuckled, bracing the golden arc so that it wouldn't slip. Mrs. Ledweight, could you help me? Oh god, it feels like I'm about to burp again. Of course, Your Highness, said Ledweight, Rubbing her shoulder, she reached up and unwrapped her son from Celestia's hair. Excuse me. Squeezing him tight between her hooves, his legs and wings swung as she glared at him. His coat thick with lavender mane oil and Celestia's own buttery warm scent. "What's the matter with you, you silly colt?" Leadweight shouted into his face. "Didn't you want to go with the princess? Go to Canterlot and make something of yourself?" She gave him a quick shake. "Answer me now! No more of this gibberish!" Featherweight hung where she held him. "No, Mama," she murmured, his delicate lips curling home. "They gave me blank pages, wide open. Open wide, they tell me. There are no words. They don't teach me any words. You don't need your camera or your presses or your press or your quill. Not going." "No words?" Ledway asked, trying to catch his eye under his messy mane. Well then, what do they teach you?" Every beam of light is a race between waves, each one his own name. When they fly together, they jumble and make white. 7 of them. White is the first and only color. That is where your text begins. White is the first and only color. Only color. Don't want to go. Not going." "Not going, huh?" "Not going, huh?" Ledway yelled. She shook him again, and a third time to flip his mane back out of his face. "You want to live here with me? Watch me grow old along with these tired drapes and door handles and floorboards? You like eating the wildflowers growing by the rubbish heap out back when the rain don't come? Mucking around in that nasty tub every night? I spent my whole life in this house, and stars help me, I'm gonna die in it. Not you. You can't be around. You can't be nothing around here." "I can. I can. I can." "No, you can't. There ain't no news in Ponyville." "That's what she said." Leadweight lowered her voice, using the crook of her foreleg to brush her wet nose and eyes. "You really want to stay? Watch your mother grow old." Featherweight sagged forward again. "No, Mama." "There now. There. I'm very sorry, Princess. I lost my composure for a moment. That's all. That's all it was. I'm terribly sorry." Leadweight hugged her son to her chest, looking for a sign of pardon from Celestia. "There's no need for a guilty conscience, Miss Leadweight. The important thing is that we got the result we wanted," said the princess. "Featherweight will be safe in here, my dear." The top of her purse turned up, curling in the golden grip of her magic. Excuse me. Featherweight began whispering again as his mother walked him to Celestia's side. "She dresses me in gold, washes me in light. There are 7 of them, every color of the rainbow, each special and unique, each one its own name." His voice cracked. 650, 507, 590, 570, 510. Lightweight lowered him through the leathery flaps of the purse and let him go. His limp body slid down the pink silken lining the bottom, past hardened cake crumbs and dried flowers, down onto a pile of trinkets and jewels still there and neglected for decades, or centuries. His camera broke free from his fixture and around his neck and settled on top of his head. Celestia pulled the drawstring tight with her teeth. "There we are. Nice and snug from our little trip back to the castle. My dapper little stallion. So sweet." She turned and paraded into the hall. Lightweight followed close behind, glancing back now and again at the empty room. "Oh, there he goes. Do you think you can help him with his nerves? His education is so important. How will he learn if he's so worked up? Is it really 10 whole years this time? It troubles me something fierce. Keeps me up all night." Celestia's tail swished and whirled in front of her like a receding flood, sweeping the loose photographs across the floor, blackened and muddy leaves of the last year's autumn. "Well, all that about blank pages and what did he say? Text? Will that really help him make newspapers?" Excuse me. "Oh, I don't know. I'm sure the factory knows what they're doing. The faculty knows what they're doing. You can't trust the experts. Who can you trust?" Celestia kept walking, her attention all on her saddlebag. "Thank you so much, Miss Leadweight. You'll be happy to hear that I decided to waive Featherweight's tuition. The special ones like him are a gift to the kingdom." They had returned to the dining room. The princess sat and took a moment to brush the tangles out of her mane, arranging herself for her journey. "And as a token of gratitude to you, right hoof?" Door slammed open, admitting the chill air and blinding light to the Ponyville winter. "Yes, Your Highness. Once you're back and organized, please send word to the Stonemasons and Plumbers Guild. Mrs. Ledway to have each room remodeled after the fashion of the royal suites in Canterlot Palace." Ledway held back one hoof to her forward, swaying on her hind legs. "Oh my goodness, that's amazing. There is not to be a speck of dirt within these walls, Celestia continued. And one more thing. Your Highness, the guards responded to one. Have a cake delivered to Miss Ledwaite each year on her son's birthday, she said, nuzzling her saddlebag. Angel food. She smiled and ran a hoof back over her mane one last time before heading toward the door. Ledwaite was blinking her watering eyes, shading in while she beamed. Oh, dear me. Oh, my. That's wonderful. Thank you, but can I visit him sometimes? But Celestia had already left, her guards marching the line with her down the path, now all but erased by snowdrifts. By the time Ledway had stepped outside and her eyes had adjusted to the light, the royal chariot was up among the clouds, disappeared into the bright infinite blue of the sky. So that's Whiteout for the first part. What do I think of the story? I think it's very cryptic. I think it's very unique. The only complaint I really honestly have, and this is nothing about the story. This is nothing about the grammar, about the characterization, nothing about that. It's just this type of story will fill honestly a niche type of people. It's people who read who are accurately able to read between the lines, able to understand the subtle wording and dictation and how everything is presented. This story is literally not for everyone. You have to have a very, very specific mindset to read the story. If you have this mindset and you read the story, then you're pretty much good. You at least partially understand what's going on, because I'll get more into that in the second part. Would I recommend this? If you're part of that, if you're able to properly understand it, then yeah, I would recommend it. But if you're not, then I can't recommend it, because it would honestly just go over those types of people's head. If they can't get it, then I can't recommend it, because they're not going to understand what's going on. But if they do get it, I would honestly do recommend it. And I like the mystery of it. I like how everything, how it's it's sad. I mean, it's a sad story. I mean, it doesn't look that way. It honestly doesn't. It honestly doesn't look that way. But if you manage to read between the lines, figure out how the characters work, and understand the subtle nuances on how the prose is written, then you can see it's actually a pretty sad story. It's not the saddest story I've ever seen. Sorry, it's honestly not. But it's really not. I would. It's as for slice of life. It kind of mitigates the fact somewhat, because the sad part is anything with featherweight, but the slice of life part is pretty much everything before looking for featherweight. So it has a solid balance. It goes from like a general type of story into sad as the story progresses, slowly, but it's there. So that's all for this part of the story. The second part of the story, I will explain to that when that video comes out. These will kind of come out around the same time. I'm hoping to God I managed to do it. If I could figure out how to get YouTube to say, oh, here's how you upload 2 videos at once, I'd be able to do it. So that's it. That's all I really have to say about